We are among the top 10 jobs for homicide in this country because we are the only occupation that historically would meet a complete stranger at a property alone and lock ourselves on the same side of the door. What's going on, world? And guess what? Today, I am here to interview yet one of another of the winners to present in the pitch battle for the IOI Summit. When I say winner, only 12 companies were selected to present at the IOI Summit pitch battle in Chicago out of over 100 applicants. So those that were selected are of value for the upcoming IOI Summit. And when I think about real estate, I never knew that I was coming into a world that would be among the top 10 jobs for homicide in this country. But that is exactly what being a licensed real estate professional means, or even being a realtor member. Today, I am joined by Vanessa Martin with Tether RE.com. And today, we're going to have a very important discussion around safety, but more importantly, around Tether RE. How you doing today, Vanessa?
I am so fantastic. I'm super stoked to be here.
And I'm elated to have you. Tell us all about Tether RE.
All right. So Tether RE was kind of born out of an idea. My husband and I co-founded this company. Started as a navigation app, just a way for us to enjoy our off-road time together. I don't know if you do the off-road game, but here in Idaho, it's big. And it's a thing to go with friends and not lose your friends. So after COVID hit and we had been playing with this navigation app, the piece to it that made it different was you could have a dynamic destination. So instead of just saying, I want to go to Chicago, you say, I want to go to Scott Martin, and it will take you turn by turn to him. Well, my COVID thoughts were, across the dinner table, I thought, what real estate agents use this? Post-COVID, no one wants to put anyone in their car anymore. Real estate is among one of the highest, crime rates, and victims are something we need to pay attention to. And it just took off from there. So that's why Tether RE. RE stands for real estate. So that's the difference between the two. But we have developed a safety platform that allows safety to be happening in the background. We realize that there's app fatigue in the real estate world. We know that people are tired of another app. This is a platform. This is a platform that without thinking, agents are protected, but agents want to use it because we built in all this productivity to make the real estate agents look like a rock star to their buyers. So everything from turn-by-turn navigation, showing settings, automatic mileage. Real estate agents were like, we forget to track our miles. So you don't have to remember. You just toggle it on and it tracks your miles as you go. But the beautiful part about it is you are essentially sending this to your buyers and it looks like your app. It doesn't say Tether RE. You can put your face, your logo. When you send it to the buyer, they're like, wow, Vanessa has her own app. That's freaking awesome. So the value add to the agent, the buyer is going to just be like, wow, this is next level. But the agent will have that peace of mind as they go into the showing with their buyers, knowing that they're protected. So we work off of a foundation. What makes us different is we have implemented 24-hour safety monitoring into our app. This is next level because there are other safety platforms that may contact your next of kin or your safety contacts. But we all know, if we're familiar with Beverly Carter's case, that your safety contacts may not always be available. So it was Carl Carter, who now serves on our advisory board, that was like, what happens if your safety contacts aren't available? So we decided to take it to the next level. And we have this 24-hour safety monitoring, which is much like the home security systems you're used to, but you have it with you at all times. So anytime an alert is triggered in Tether, that safety monitoring, along with your safety contacts, they're still contacted, but that safety monitoring picks up and checks on you. Hey, are you okay? Do you need help? So we believe that safety may not be top of mind, but Tether is all encompassing. It has every productivity efficiency tool that you need, and it'll keep you safe in the background.
Okay. So when I go back and I start thinking about, we have National Safety Month, right? From a real estate practitioner
Coming
standpoint.
up.
And we are among the top 10 jobs for homicide in this country because we are the only occupation that historically would meet a complete stranger at a property and lock alone and lock ourselves on the same side of the door, right? Something that police officers do not do. When police officers often come into your home, they don't close and lock the door behind them, right? Most of the time, they'll leave the door open, right? And they come with a partner. It's either somebody in that car, somebody standing on those steps, or somebody walking in directly behind them. So they do all these things that we as individuals don't do. And there's a myth. People believe that they're safer in rural, suburban areas. That's not true. You're actually less safe, right? Because no one knows you're there. Where I live on a block, our houses in the city of Chicago traditionally are on 25 by 125 lots. We have these things called gangways, which are 4 feet in between each of the houses, right? If you were to do something to me in the backyard or the front, first of all, I have all of my neighbors' rings. They saw you pull up. They have the Ring camera on. We compare Ring systems all the time. If something happens, to see what either happened on the front or to see what happened on the back, and to make sure that our cameras, for those of us who are friends, are crossing each other so that we're always capturing like that view. That's how close we are on my block. I don't know if everybody does that. So when I'm starting to think about safety, one, the first thing that comes to mind is you've created a white label product.
Correct.
As we start navigating the NAR settlement agreement, there was something that I thought would naturally happen. The first thing is, because we're now mandating a signed buyer representation agreement or notification, right? That we should have a safer industry, because when you're getting the signed agreement, you should have IDs and make sure that you're working with that person so you're less likely to meet with a stranger. But there was something that you said. You said it started as a navigation app. No. And you said about going to meet your husband. How does that work?
So as far as the navigation portion of it, that still keeps that initial technology that we talked about, when you start a showing with a buyer. So let's kind of back up a little bit and look at how that looks. So as soon as you're ready to meet with someone, generally real estate agents get a phone number and a name, right? Hey, my name's Bob. I want to meet. And you're right. This is a very dangerous profession. Number one, you are putting yourself out, generally this day and age, you're putting yourself out all over social media. You're all over the internet. You're looking your best, and people are coming into your life. I know, right? They feel like they know you. They want to be a part of you. So you're opening yourself up to be victimized. And these people get to, very intimately involved with your work. They know that they can get you a loan. So that's your first step. So let's say Bob calls, hey, I want to see this property. The first line of defense in Tether RE is, are they who they say they are? So that's the first check. Before you ever meet them, when you run their phone number inside Tether RE, does it come up Bob? If it comes up George, you need to ask more questions, right? Or more so. So I was in the military for many years, and we like to call it a show of force. If you know that I'm going to cross-reference your identity and you're a bad guy, you may never get past that conversation if you mean to do me harm, right? So that first buyer verification can go as deep as you want. We have premium features where you can look up associated addresses, associated people. Is it a prepaid phone? I'm not going to a showing, certainly not alone, with someone using a burner phone. And that's all before you meet them, just like you said. So this is something that's very powerful. The other fraud that we learned about in all of our focus groups is there are people calling and saying, I own this property, come list it for me. And they don't. So we have the ability to cross-reference the address. Is George, who's calling, actually the owner of this property? So that is powerful. So when you send that invitation to a buyer, you've already done that first initial check. That's our first line of defense. So you may weed someone out. We've already had this as a testimonial. People are like, well, they wouldn't tether with me. Well, good. You probably just saved yourself from being a statistic. And by the way, the stats are in for for this past year, 30,000 agents were victims of violent crime. That's
30,000.
30,000. That's 2,500 agents per month. And that's violent crime. That's not just like, oh, someone lured me in a house and they stole everything out of my car. That's physical assault, rape, and murder. 25 agents a year on average are murdered. Like you said, that's a high percentage for just trying to go to work and come home. But beyond that, beyond the doom and gloom side, your question was about the navigation. So when you send that invitation to your buyer to connect, it's going to say, hey, please put your phone number in so we can verify your identity. Likely a bad guy's not going to do that. So that's your gatekeeper. But let's say they aren't a bad guy. They are a fantastic potential buyer. They're going to make you a very happy realtor. When you connect, that's the tether. You're tethered together. We're able to then send them all the showings that we want to see them. The properties that you preload either into your phone as an app, or we have a web portal if you want to use your computer. You put all of those in, you decide what order you go in. It can be based on optimal routing by distance or by time. When you send that to them, it gives them turn-by-turn directions. So you look like a rock star, right? So you could choose as the agent, you can send them to the first home and they just get turn-by-turn right to the first home. Or you can say, I want you to follow me. That's where that navigation technology comes in. I'm the dynamic destination because maybe, Marky, I want to show you the cute little coffee shop you're going to love next to that house, the dog park for Fluffy, maybe where your kid's going to go to daycare. I'm going to make this an experience, right? But unlike traditional transportation, especially in Chicago, you're not going to have to run red lights to get your agent. You're not going to have them pull over to the side. I mean, we were in Portland not too long ago and we finally turned Tether on because we were trying to follow a friend around and it was ridiculous. So this is that's where that technology plays in to the real estate side.
One thing I love, the burner phone. Here's the thing. Not only would I not show you real estate and you're calling from a burner phone, I got questions, right? Like I wouldn't date you with a burner phone.
That's funny you say that because we got people using our service for all sorts of things besides real estate. No, don't get it twisted.
No. I'm like, this is the ultimate dating app, right? You got a burner, that's a no-go.
How about
any type of relationship?
It's going to show associated people. So when you search me, you're going to get my ex-husband. You're going to get my former mother-in-law. It's going to connect all the dots. So if someone's not telling you the truth, it's going to be pretty clear.
Wow. Wait, first of all, I've never had a discussion about a burner phone, but a burner phone brings a lot of emotion, especially if you're still watching Law and Order. Well, no, Law and Order, CSI, or SWAT, right?
100%, which we all do, or Dateline.
Yeah. Like, yeah, only hear burner phone tied to a crime.
Right.
And like, where you get one from? Like, I don't even know where to get a burner phone.
I don't know how to get one, Marcy, because you're a good human. I'm glad you don't know how to get a burner phone.
How do you do that? Okay.
It's a sign. And if someone wants to make up some elaborate story and you still believe, it's still up to the agent. If they find out they're using a prepaid phone, a burner phone, and you still want to go see, you're going to use some extra precaution, right? But I'm not going.
Here's the thing. I don't know anybody who has a burner phone, and most of my friends have had their mobile number for decades. I just want to start with that. So let me go with that. I also see this as a great benefit to even secure listings as a listing agent because you're keeping the property, the premises, safety first and foremost. And so this could be a unique selling proposition. And also very shocked by the 30,000 crimes, the 2,500 per month, and the 25 murders. Now, I knew we were among the top 10 for homicide. So one, loving the features. And here's what's interesting. So the other day, actually, was that yesterday? My son, he got a car last September, but he just started driving it in the past month because he did not have his driver's license. I got the car. Yeah. It's very scary. I got it while it was available, right? Yeah. Because it was a fabulous deal. And so I tell him, I said, well, he knows how to pump gas in my car, but he had never pumped his own gas for his car. So he had one too many questions for me. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just go to Costco and meet you, right? So I said, I'm stopping at the post office. He says, I'll meet you at Costco because I don't want you to tell me how to go. I want to show you that I can do this by myself. So I said, okay, right. So I go to the post office. I take my cell phone over to Costco. I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting. 15 minutes pass. I don't see this child, right? So I call him. I'm like, dude, where are you? He was like, I already pumped my gas. I said, you're at Costco in the parking lot? And he was like, yeah, on the side you come out. I said, but I needed gas too. I thought we was doing this together. So he comes over and he gives me the Costco card. But here's the thing. He really didn't want me to go with him. He wanted to figure it out by himself. Instantly, I'm thinking, navigation, I pair to you, because I would have known that the child had already pumped his gas.
100%.
Right? Or better yet, my husband drives like a bat out of hell, okay? That means that I would know, he was 3 blocks up because I didn't make the light 2 blocks back,
Or
right?
he decided to stop at the local donut shop and have a treat. You could join him because you knew he did that.
Exactly. Those parts.
100%. Marky, that's only the first line of defense. So if you think of the other safety features in here, you'll realize why our next step moving forward is going to be a consumer app. So the other features inside the app, the second line of defense is we have an SOS button, like an alert button inside the platform. You don't have to be doing a showing to get to it. As soon as you open Tether RE, it's right on the front screen and it's throughout the process. So if you ever are in any situation, like let's say you are waiting for your son and you watch someone in a domestic violence dispute, you can hit that SOS button. It's going to connect you to our 24-hour monitoring. And if you say, hey, yeah, I do need help, I need dispatch, they'll dispatch local authorities to your precise location. It can also be used as a silent alarm because, again, we based a lot of our features based on worst case scenario, right? And we use Beverly's situation for that. Carl has been amazing with sharing his story and allowing us to share his mother's story so that it doesn't happen again. And she was held hostage. You can't always call 911 and say, please help me. So having that silent alarm, that's the second line of defense, right? Third line of defense, we have proximity timers. If you don't leave your showing within the amount of time that you set up as an agent, it calls for help for you. You don't have to do anything. So think about Beverly's situation. We believe she went to that home and we know she was targeted and she was going to be abducted. But we believe they waited to take her out of that home. Likely her proximity timer would have said, she normally only stays for 30 minutes. It pops up a screen that says, hey, your time's about to go off. Are you okay? You have a safety pin and an emergency pin. You put that safety pin in, it snoozes everything and any sort of alarms that we have. You put that duress pin in and it says dispatch without calling you. It just expedites so that the bad guys don't know, right? But let's say, for example, you're being held against your will and someone sees that phone and they see that alert pop up and they say, you put your pin in or you turn this off, you do whatever you need to do. They don't know what your pin is. All you got to do is tell them or type in your emergency pin. It looks like it went away. Help is on the way. Not only do we have the location of you as an agent, but we've tethered to the buyer. So if that buyer decided to throw your phone in the river and has you, we can still find you. Or they commit a crime and leave you. Like I'm sure you've seen the National Association of Realtors video. That's that giant bear of a man that gets accosted in the home. He goes in the home. He's like, I'm former infantry. I'm trained. I'm this giant man. I got caught off guard. I walked into a house. It felt uneasy. There were 2 men waiting. They beat the crap out of me, right? If something like that happens, we have the person who harmed you as well. So we can send the police to the bad guy and EMS to the good guy, right? So if all of that fails, we still have one more line of defense, and that's the struggle alert, impact alert. That is your, did you fall? Did you get in a car crash? Or did somebody get a hold of you? Right? So you're on your way to a showing and you get in a car accident. We're going to call and check on you. Are you okay? Do you need help? If you don't answer, we send help. But in Beverly's case, she was thrown in the back of a car. That would have been our final chance if all these other safety precautions didn't work. Excuse me. Then that would have been our last chance to say, not only she needs help, but find her. I can help her, can find her. And people always ask me, well, why didn't they just request your location from her cell phone? That takes time, a court order, and a judge's signature. that could be the difference between life and death. They don't have time for that. So you can see where I have a teenager that drives also. I have two, actually. I have one from my marriage, one from my womb. And I turn Tether RE on them all the time because I want them to be able to press the button if they have a situation. If they get in a car accident, I want to know. Like, we actually are moving forward into a consumer act too, because this is something that's just, crime isn't going away.
Yes,
we have to think about safety.
And I love the levels of precaution. I've never heard of anything like this, right? So now I'm even thinking, when you think about going into consumer, right, it could be something that my husband uses on me. I travel 100 nights per year. I travel.
Oh, wow.
100 nights per year. I am gone extensively. Now, because I tell everybody I'm Southside strong, right? So born and raised in Inglewood, I tell people common sense is not all that common. However, there are certain precautions that I take all the time that I think have definitely helped me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't carry a pocketbook. I carry a crossbody bag. When I'm traveling, I generally wear a duster. It's under the duster. So all you might see is a strap, but not how to get to it. Like, it's just little certain things. I don't walk,
you don't look like someone who could be easily targeted.
Right. When I'm in the hotel, I don't walk next to either door. I walk straight down the middle of the hallway in case somebody opens their door, right? Just a lot of little things. But would my husband have substantially more peace of mind knowing that I had the app, even in the hotel room in the middle of the night, calling for safety based on all of the videos we're seeing about how to protect yourself and how people are gaining access to hotel rooms, right?
Exactly.
I'm thinking of it from that standpoint. So for the spouse, especially when someone travels extensively, either spouse. But also thinking about as I have several of my grandparents' siblings are still living. Mm-hmm. That means that they're all 75 years or older. Right. They're all very independent, right? But I don't think that they would mind being tethered too.
Awesome.
Okay.
We found that exact thing when we go out and we talk about it.
Yeah. So for their safety, I have one, can I say this and not get in trouble? I have one, I won't identify who, is well in her 90s, and she likes to still go out, right? We could all tether her butt, right?
Yes, exactly. That's a grandmother. Yes.
Wow.
We actually have another future plan. And a lot of times, we like to talk about where we're going is wearables for that very reason, So if you don't want to just have your phone open, so we're already down that road of maybe agents just want to have a wearable. We got to think of some really cool ones. Again, it's just like the safety side. We know Tether RE will save lives, but we have to add other features so they'll use it. I don't want anyone to need us, but I don't want anyone to not have us if they do. So we got to make this the most badass, excuse my French, platform that everybody wants to do. And that's why we did the private branding. In fact, I'm going to talk to you more about this online, but I want to use your face and your logo for my pitch battle when I talk about this. So,
that's fine.
Okay, I figured you'd be down and everybody knows who you are. So, but it's just so much more impactful when I'm like, you have no idea. When you send this to your buyers, they literally think it's your app. That is a standalone like no other, right? And our app is always under $20 a month. Right now, it's only $10 a month because we're celebrating Realtor Safety Month. If you sign up before September's over, you'll get $10 a month for the rest of your life. It's so affordable. It's cheaper than a home security system. So it's a no-brainer. That's why I use it on my kids, right? Yeah, they're never going to use the real estate stuff. I don't care. That's worth it. So our hope is that we just make this very easy to use. We understand, we did our research. We know why other safety platforms have not done well in the market. And mostly they're hard to use. You have to turn them on and turn them off. That's why we built in a lot of like automatic stuff, right? When you pull up to a house, it recognizes based on GPS, hey, this is your first showing, and it turns on. And you leave and it turns off. You don't have to go, oh, hold on, everyone. Let's stop doing our job and turn it on. And turn it off. No, it just does it automatically. So we had the automatic mileage. We have the ability to track those phone numbers and names without, being awkward and taking a photo of them. We tried to figure out what was on the market that isn't anymore. How do we make this just a refined thing that everyone is going to want to use? We're even working with a company. I don't know if I can say who yet, so I'll keep that on the sneak peek coming soon. We're working with a company to integrate the forms that are required so that you can send them all of those forms that you have to get before you make a deal. So this is all easily integrated. We also allow the agents to choose 2 custom links that show up when the property data shows up. Because that's the other thing we need to talk about. On the buyer side, when you show up to that first property, yes, the safety is running for the agent, but the buyer gets property data that pulls up. We have third-party data that pulls up. So they pull up to the house, all of a sudden their app goes, here's the house, here's some photos, here's how many bedrooms. You can thumb through the pictures. Oh, you can favorite it if you like it. You can open up the notes section and it talks to your agent. Maybe you're like, too many airplanes overhead, or the ceilings, I don't like 8-foot ceilings. Well, not only does that make the buyer feel like, wow, they're paying attention. They want to show me things I like. Now the agent can go home and do their due diligence and not show them any more properties in the airport zone. This is fantastic for the buyer and the agent. The buyer doesn't pay anything for it. So when you connect with a buyer, they use a free version of the app. They download it and use it just like any other. So we really believe that it's about getting the message out there that something like this exists. Because like you said, nothing like this exists. We know that this is going to be powerful and agents are going to want to use it. And then it's going to be there if they have an emergency.
I love everything. And I'm not the safety lady, right? Tracy Hawkins is.
But you want to be safe.
Oh, yes. And we definitely want our agents to be safe, right? You don't ever want an incident to occur to anyone, the buyer, the seller, and or your agents. And it's going to keep the industry safe. And with the price, thank you very much for that introductory price during Safety Month. It's affordable and will remain affordable, but it's doing so many other things in one place with additional features to come. So one, I applaud you on leveraging feedback from the marketplace to be able to create something that is all inclusive and beneficial that keeps us safe, so that we will not have 25. I would not want to go to 25 funerals in any industry, town, location, nothing of that nature, as a result of not leveraging this tool. So tell everybody your website and where they can go, and if there's a special code they need for the Safety Month special.
100%. So the website is Tether RE, as in Tether Real Estate, tetherre.com. We also have a 30-day free trial. So it is a no-brainer for everyone to try it. Speaking of listening to, the people who use the product, we were told, hey, we need longer than 7 days to try this out. So we just instantly made that change. You get 30 days to try it before you have any charges. The only thing you'll be charged for in those 30 days is if you do any of those premium lookups, like reverse address, or if you want to see if they're using a prepaid phone or go deeper on those phone lookups. The basic one's free, but those premium lookups are 25 cents. So that's the only charge you'll get during your 30 days. And then it's $10 a month. Now, you do not have to have any special code if you go there before Safety Month is over. So make sure you visit us before the end of September. But I will give you my personal contact information. It's Vanessa@tetherre.com. If you watch this video and it happens to be later on, or you have any issues, call me, mention it, and I will hook you up. I promise.
Well, one, if any association leaders are taking a lesson, then think about this as something that you can provide as a member benefit through your association. And that is definitely, I'm on the board of directors. We're consistently looking for products and services that are going to be beneficial to our members and help us to demonstrate our value. Vanessa, I want to thank you for sharing Tether RE, and I look forward to seeing you at the IOI Summit.
I can't wait. Thanks so much, Marky.
Thank you.